What up, family? It's your man Kurt from Triad Hip Hop Podcast. Happy Women's History Month. In keeping with the spirit of Women's History Month, I want to do a lyrical breakdown on a classic female MC that I think gets a little bit overlooked sometimes, you know what I mean? Because, she got into a little battle back in the day with MC Lyte. She caught an attitude. And, and people say, MC Lyte kind of checked her attitude or whatever, but we're going to go into that because I really think she deserves way more credit as an MC. You know what I mean? The battle seems to have gone to MC Lyte, but, I don't think it was like a wash or anything like that. So we are talking about none other than Antionette, you know what I mean? Female MC extraordinaire. And she's still around doing her thing, you know what I mean? I'm happy to see that. I believe her and MC Lyte have kind of, mended those fences or whatever. So this was a song that she did back in the day during the start of the battle between her and MC Lyte. This is called Who's the Boss? And, I'm going to go through the first two verses because normally when I do a lyrical breakdown, normally I only try to do one verse, but the verses were kind of short and a little more potent. So I want to go through the first two verses, and I'm going to go through them separately. I'm going to let y'all hear the first verse, then I'm going to come back, break that down. Then I'm going to let y'all hear the second verse, and then I'm going to come back and go through that. I just want to give her the flowers because it's Women's History Month, and she don't deserve it just because it's Women's History Month, but this is just a good time to remind y'all about some of these dope female lyricists, you know what I mean, that don't get enough credit. So, without further ado, this is Antionette, Who's the Boss? The first verse. Let's get into it. Yeah.
Your mission is to destroy all competition. Good luck.
Now here we go, hug the stereo. It might pump or jump around, bum rush the sound, beat it down, run it in the ground. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Oh well, they fell. Their records couldn't sell, even if you gave them away free. Oh honey, you just don't wanna be rap star. And now you're trying to front on me, but kids who play suffer when the beat is on. And the going gets tougher when the heat is on. I go off and I be keeping it kept on. Make like a rap breakout, I'll get stepped on. Stepchild, you just the son in this. Antionette, it's like running this, yeah, dance. Go ahead, do that instead. Pick up your head, cause I flew that. Antionette, wearing no shorts, giving a loss for telling her who's the boss. Antionette.
I mean, come on now. You heard it, you know what I mean? It's short, sweet, and to the point, and she goes in, you know what I mean? So let's jump right in and go over those lyrics. I just want to give her the flowers that she deserves. So, alright, so the first verse, she said, now here we go, hug your stereo, it might pump or jump around, bum rush the sound, beat it down, run it in the ground. So, right off the bat, she's kind of showing her lyrical ability, you know what I mean, her wordplay, she jumping in and let you know I can rap my ass off too, you know what I mean? And then she said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, oh well, they fell. Their records couldn't sell even if you gave them away free. You know what I mean? So, this is her right now trying to go into the whole MC Lyte situation. You know what I mean? She started off the rhyme just letting you know, look, I can rap. You know what I mean? I can put these fucking words together beautifully. But now let's get down to business. You know what I mean? And so, to me, well, matter of fact, I'm going to come back to that. And, I don't want to go too deep, but I want to tell y'all I want to break the battle down and how it went, part for part. So anyway, she said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Oh, well, they fell. Their records couldn't sell even if you gave them away free. Oh, honey, you just a wannabe rap star. And now you're trying to front on me. But kids who play suffer when the beat is on. And the going gets tougher when the heat is on. You know what I mean? So she dropping them bars. You know what I mean? One thing is dope about Antionette, you know what I mean? Not only does she have the dope lyrics, the dope wordplay, her bars, they go real hard. And, you know what I mean? Even MC Lyte, threw a shot at her, but it almost was a compliment. She said, you should have won a prize as a Rakim sound-alike. You know what I mean? It's a shot because she basically saying you shouldn't be trying to sound like nobody else. But to compare her to Rakim, that's still kind of a dope compliment because that means her lyrics are dope, and she kind of raps in a dope style like him. You know what I mean? And I don't think she was ever trying to be Rakim. I think she was just trying to be a hard lyricist, a dope female, you know, able to hold the mic and hold her own, you know, in my opinion. But anyway, so then she said, I go off and be keeping it kept on. Make like a rat, break out or get stepped on. Stepchild, you just a son in this. Antionette is like running this. Man, listen. So she breaking it down right there, you know what I mean? She said, I go off and be keeping it kept on. Make like a rat, break out or get stepped on. You know what I mean? She letting her know, you know, I'm like a giant compared to you. You just like a little rat. You might as well run away before you fuck around and get stepped on. You know what I mean? And then she said, stepchild, you just a son in this. So that's right there. That's the level of disrespect. You know what I mean? That's like, yo, you like my son in this bullshit. You know what I mean? You're no competition. You're more like a stepchild to me. You know what I mean? So she said, stepchild, you just a son in this. Antionette is like running this. Yeah, dance. Go ahead, do that. Instead, pick up your head because I flew that. You know, that is a real throwback for me, because if you're old enough to know like the 80s lingo, you know what I mean? That was part of that 80s lingo. She said, instead, pick up your head because I flew that. Pick up your head because I flew that. So that's lingo that goes back to where basically in the 80s you would say something like, if you were going to beat somebody down or punch them in the head, you say, I'm going to fly that head. Meaning, I'm going to hit you so hard, your fucking head's going to fly off. So that was just popular lingo back in like the 80s. You know, I'm going to fly that head. I'm going to fly that dome. I'm going to fly that brick. You know what I mean? So anyway, she said, Antoinette's wearing no shorts, giving a loss, but telling you who's the boss. That was the way she ended off the first verse. So, you know, that's another thing. You know, that's another 80s, 90s lingo. Antoinette's wearing no shorts. You know what I mean? That was something we said. You know, you would either say, I'm taking no shorts or I'm wearing no shorts. You know what I mean? And it just means like, I'm all in. I'm not taking no shortcuts. I'm not half-stepping. None of that. I'm all in. So let's fucking do it. You know what I mean? Let's go. And so that's why she said Antoinette's wearing no shorts, giving a loss, but telling you who's the boss. So that first verse was, to me, you know, dope as hell. But let me go back to what I was saying earlier about the battle. You know what I mean? The battle basically started off between her and MC Lyte because of another group that MC Lyte was down with, the Audio 2, which was MC Milk D and DJ Gizmo. Basically, they made a song which was a very popular song called Top Billin'. And, you know, it had a famous sample in it. And I forget the name of the sample. I think it was from Arrest the President. Something like that. But Impeach the President. Impeach the President. And so basically, not too long after that, Antionette comes out with her own song called I Got an Attitude, which is where the attitude reference comes in. And so Antionette sampled, whoever did her beat, I think it was Herbie Lovebug, sampled that as well. And so, you know, Audio 2 was like, yo, what the fuck? We just dropped our song and now you're going to come around right behind us and drop a song with the same type of beat? You know what I mean? And so, you know, I definitely understand the, hold on. Okay. My Bluetooth was dying on me. So anyway, I definitely understand, you know, where it came from, because that was a big deal in the early days of hip hop, which it should still be a big deal now, but it's not, you know what I mean? Back then, you know, one thing you don't do was what we call bite. You don't bite, meaning you don't copy nobody else's shit. You don't copy nobody else's lyrics. You don't copy nobody else's beat. You know what I mean? You don't copy nobody else's style, swag, none of that shit. And so, you know, this was like crime 101. You know, like you just committed the biggest crime in hip hop. You know what I mean? So she drops the song, I Got an Attitude. They get offended. Then they put MC Lyte on a record, her very first record, from what I understand. I don't know if she had any other ones before that, but I'm pretty sure this was her first record, called 10% Diss. And MC Lyte, basically the whole song was aimed directly at Antionette, but they didn't mention any names. They just put it out as, you know, just as a record, like a B-side type of record. Like, you know, this is not to climb the charts or anything. This is just to let this female and any other females know, don't fucking do that, or we coming for you. So MC Lyte drops the 10% Diss song. She doesn't mention any names, but you could tell she was talking to somebody. I remember when I first heard the song, I had no idea who she was talking about because, and this is no disrespect to Antionette, her song I Got an Attitude didn't blow up as much. You know what I mean? So I didn't really know about it at the time. I didn't know about it until later, after Antionette responded to 10% Diss with Who's the Boss, which is what I'm covering today. And so Antionette did the same thing. She was like, I'm going to aim this directly at MC Lyte without actually mentioning her name. You know, all's fair. You know what I mean? They played fair. And then, you know, MC Lyte, of course, responded back, you know, and they went back and forth a little bit. But anyway, so that's how the whole thing transpired. So Who's the Boss was Antionette's response, you know, to 10% Diss. And so that's why I'm doing the first two verses. So now let's go ahead and jump into verse 2 of Who's the Boss, so y'all can hear, you know, she goes off even harder on this one. I love this one. So yeah, let's do it.
And remember, you are our future.
Give you a break because you escaped but get hit with. You nitwit, you better get with. Antionette on set cause I'm fed up. I'm going head up. Now get up, ducks who get stuck in. Grab your cup and I'ma fill it to the rim. Take a sip, don't bite your lip, don't take bites out, or it's gonna be MC's lights out. So duck out because you struck out. And that strike be the young, the old, the bold. They all like be looking because I'm hooking, but I ain't a hooker. So save that for TJ, that he say and she say ain't no threat. I'm knocking out games with no stress. So who's the boss? It ain't a weak chick. So let me launch a rhyme and let the beat kick.
Come on now, you heard what I heard. You know what I mean? Come on now, y'all. I mean, listen, she said, now this first line, I'm not 100% sure about, but I'm going based on the internet because I feel like she said something slightly different, but I'm just not sure what she said. So I'm just going to go with what the internet put. And they go, if you were brave because you escaped, but get hit with, you nitwit, you better get with. Antionette on set cause I'm fed up. Now get up. No, I'm sorry. Antionette on set cause I'm fed up. I'm going head up. Now get up. So that first line, if you were brave because you escaped, I'm not 100% sure that's what she said. I feel like she said something slightly different, but because it's so up tempo and she's rhyming on a little bit of a fast tempo, it's hard to make out exactly. And the audio quality of that day is not as good as it is this day. Which ironically, with the audio quality being so much better these days, you still can't understand what some of these young rappers are saying. But anyway, that's neither here or there. So, but you know, it's just that first line I'm not sure about. If you were brave because you escaped. I'm not sure if that's what she said. I feel like she said something else because it just doesn't go with the second part. You get hit with, you nitwit, you better get with. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem to go together. So it's like, I feel like she said something else, but the wordplay was definitely on par, and the flow was definitely on par. And then she said, you better get with Antionette on set cause I'm fed up. I'm going head up. Now get up. Now that's another thing, you know what I mean? That's another piece of slang from back in the 80s. I'm going head up, you know what I mean? Let's go head up. You know, that's like saying, let's fight one-on-one, but, you know, let's just, you know, go bare knuckle. Let's bare knuckle, drag it out. You know what I mean? let's just keep fucking fighting until somebody wins. You know what I mean? Nobody breaking it up. It's just basically saying, let's go all in. You know what I mean? So when you say I'm going head up, it's like I'm saying I'm going all in. I'm ready to fucking do this shit. Let's thump. Anyway, so she said, ducks who get stuck in, grab your cup and I'ma fill it to the rim. Take a sip, but don't bite your lip. Don't take bites out, or it's gonna be MC's lights out. So that's where she first subliminally mentions MC Light. It's dope right there. But let's go back to the beginning. She said, not the beginning, but she said, ducks who get stuck in, grab your cup and I'ma fill it to the rim. So ducks, that's another piece of slang from back in that day, the 80s. You know what I mean? You would say somebody was a sucker duck or just a duck, basically meaning you were a punk, you were pussy. You know what I mean? You wasn't worthy of even fighting. You know what I mean? You bitch made, as they say. You know what I mean? So she said, ducks who get stuck in, grab your cup and I'ma fill it to the rim. Take a sip, don't bite your lip. Don't take bites out, or it's gonna be MC's lights out. You know what I mean? So that was her way of subliminally letting MC Light know, yeah, this is about you. I'm not saying your name, but I'm saying something synonymous to let you know it's about you. So, that's just one of those things, man. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I'm gonna continue on, but I love how her wordplay was dope enough that she was able to put that subliminal in to let you know, because I didn't even catch that when I first heard Who's the Boss. You know what I mean? It was such a hard track. You know what I mean? It was like listening to, as she said, a Rakim song. You know what I mean? He going off so motherfucking fast. Like, let's say Follow the Leader. Rakim is going in so hard. Sometimes you miss some of the shit he's saying because you just like, oh shit, it's just blurring my mind. You know what I mean? So that's dope right there. You know what I mean? She said something and it didn't even catch me. I didn't catch it until later on. So anyway, so she said, don't take bites out or it's gonna be MC's lights out. So duck out because you struck out, and that's strike 3. The young, the old, the bold, they all might be looking because I'm hooking, but I ain't a hooker. So save that for TJ, that he say and she say. Ain't no threat, I'm knocking out gangs with no stress. So, she said a lot there, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go back through that, but she said duck out because you struck out, you know what I mean? Duck out, you know what I mean? And get the fuck out of here because you struck out, and that's strike 3. And then she said, the young, the old, the bold, they all might be looking because I'm hooking, but I ain't a hooker. You know what I mean? So she basically saying everybody from young to old might be a spectator kind of looking at this like, whoa, because I'm hooking, but I ain't a hooker. She basically saying I'm throwing like hook punches, you know what I mean? But I ain't a hooker, you know what I mean? So it's wordplay, letting you know I'm throwing hooks, but I ain't a hooker. And then she says, save that for TJ, which is dope wordplay because back in the day, there was a show called TJ Hooker, starring none other than William Shatner, you know what I mean, Captain Kirk himself. And, it was a pretty good show. So, so that's why she says, save that for TJ, that he say and she say, ain't no threat. I'm knocking out gangs with no stress. So who's the boss? It ain't a weak chick. So let me launch a rhyme and let the beat kick. And that's how she ends off that second verse. And, again, I just want to give Antionette her flowers, man, because the shit is dope, man. I mean, you gotta, a lot of people, jump on MC Light, which MC Light is a dope lyricist and a dope rapper, a dope artist and all of that. But, just because she was proclaimed the victor of that battle doesn't mean the competition was no slouch. You know what I mean? A lot of people say LL Cool J took out Kumo D, which I still disagree with to this day. I don't consider that, but I think it was just circumstantial. LL's victory was circumstantial, but Kumo D was one of the best fucking rappers of his day. And he could still probably to this day put some words together. You know what I mean? So yeah, speaking of Mo D, I gotta get his book. There's a God on the mic. I'm gonna get that. So anyway, man, Antionette, you know, if you ever hear this, I just wanted to give you your flowers, you know, and be fair about it, because, you know, no matter how they say the battle swayed, which, you know, the popular consensus is that MC Lyte won. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if MC Lyte's necessarily a better rapper than Antionette. You know what I mean? Antionette was dope as fuck. So don't get that shit twisted. I think that MC Lyte was dope as fuck too. I think if I had to say anything, to be honest, they were more evenly matched. But Antionette was looked at as the bad guy because she used a song where they copied the beat. You know what I mean? Which they've all kind of mended those fences, and Antionette basically has come out and said it wasn't her making beats, you know what I mean? It was somebody like Herbie Lovebug or whoever that made the beat, and she just wanted to rap, you know what I mean? She just wanted to rap, so she wasn't thinking about, oh man, somebody just used it. She was just like, yeah, somebody is putting me on a record and letting me do my shit. Where the fuck is the mic? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give her that. You know, it just made her look like the bad guy because of that circumstance. And you know, no matter how hard of a record she put out, you couldn't really give her the victory, because it was just like MC Lyte was basically defending the title of proper hip-hop etiquette, proper hip-hop culture. And so, you know, that's why I think she was considered the winner versus Antionette being considered a quote-unquote loser. So, you know, I think it was more of an even match. So if I had to honestly score it, I would say that it was a tie. You know what I mean? Yeah, Antionette, you know, came out looking like she lost, but it was only because of those circumstances. So, Antionette, if you ever hear this, maybe we can interview you one day and we can talk about it. You know what I mean? Because I love talking about shit like that. You know, I've been here since. You know, I was born in the 70s, so I kind of grew up neck and neck with hip hop. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let's chop it up one of these days. Anyway, for Triad Hip Hop Podcast, for my lyrical breakdown, it's your boy Kurt, and we'll see y'all on the live show, not the live show, but the full podcast episode, which is dropped every Friday. So thank y'all for checking us out. Please don't forget, hit all the buttons, like, share, subscribe, and we will be back soon. All right, peace.